Hey everybody, Kevin here from Invisible Insights, your high performance coach, and I got a little something for your performance edge. Now today, I want to talk with you about something that I call the backward breakdown. Now these are things in my toolbox, so probably this is just a toolbox series of sorts, but in my toolbox, I always take a look at how do I break this thing from a backward breakdown. And some people might call it reverse engineering, but I look at it a little bit different because I look at everything a little bit different. But I look at like, okay, so if I'm starting something and I want to know what my moves are, what are the most critical moves I need to be making? And often I'll take a look at like a 3-year outcome or a 5-year outcome. And I really gets very detailed about like the outcome, what I'm trying to do in 3 years or 5 years or whatever it is. And I want the outcome from whatever the project is or whatever the initiative is or whatever effort I'm putting into. And I want to be very articulate about what that is. And so I'm considering that being year 3, let's say. And I'm just asking myself, then if this is what it looks like in year 3, then what are the things that I need to be talking about, doing? What are the moves I need to be making in year 2? If it's year 5, I'm asking the same thing. What are the moves, the types of decisions, conversations, the network, the people I need to be around, the research, all the things that would be happening at year 4. And then I go down, I just keep clicking down. I just go back and say, so if that's the case, if these are the things I'm working on in year 4, then I create a year 4 outcome. So my outcome in year 4, based on the things that I feel like I'd be doing in year 4, because I'm breaking it down backwards from year 5. So I'm looking at that part, and then I'm kind of constituting that in a year 4 kind of lens. And then I do the same thing in year 3. I go, so if this is what I'm talking about, and this is the outcome that I have going on in year 4, then what should I have been doing in year 3? And what happens, there's a progression of priority that starts to emerge in that process. And as you begin to start breaking down that outcome in year 4, and you look at all the moves and all the conversations and all the things you would be doing in year 3, then there's going to be a year 3 outcome, and I'm going to design that and lay that out. And what I'm looking for is that progression of growth as I look at all 5 outcomes, because I'm just going to do it for year 2. And in year 2, these are the conversations I'm having. So in order for me to be having these conversations in year 2, to build the relationships I need in year 3, to be positioned properly in year 4, so that I can accomplish everything I need to accomplish and continue to move forward in year 5, then what are the things that really essentially need to begin to happen in year 1? And it is a part of planning in a way through, I don't want to call it reverse engineering, because what you're doing is you're taking the iterative process and then you're breaking it down in a backward fashion. You're just pushing it back and pushing it back. And I think it's different than reverse engineering in that part, but I want to argue about that because we could be arguing about it all day. What I look at it from is I want to have priority around what needs to happen in year 1. What are the key moves? What are the key conversations? But I want there to be a linear type of logic thread that leads to the outcome I want in year 5. I don't want to spend half my time in year 1 wasting it on things that aren't going to matter in year 2. Why wouldn't I just be in year 2 while I'm looking at year 1? Why can't I just be in year 3 when I'm in year 1? Because I want to see the progression. If I look at the relationship progression, then that determines the moves I need to make, the networks I need to build, the conversations I need to have, the level of courage that's required in different aspects of that, whether it's fundraising, whether it's investing time and money into whatever you're moving into. These are the things, and you have to, obviously, as you well know, not everything is and we have a magic wand. It takes time for these things to emerge, for trust to build, for relationships to grow at a higher level and to blossom. You look at all these things here that are part of this thing. It's really important that you think through it. Now, it's a lot of work. And if anything you're doing is worth doing, it's hard work, because if it were easy, everyone would be doing it, and they're not. So you have an idea, and if you don't do it, it won't get done. And so you have this thing, boom, here's the idea. Now let's backward breakdown. Year one, priority. Consistency, focus. Year two, and I can measure it. I can actually look at the scope of what I'm trying to accomplish and understand the moves that I'm making are consistent with where I'm going. Confidence goes up, congruence is locked in, right? You're just in a total cool pocket and you're doing damage. And I think that's what I get at. That's something, this is the way I think, but I want to challenge you in that realm. And I want you to be thinking through that lens. So there's a question for you. What's that 5-year thing, that 3-year thing that you need to break down backwards? And do that backward breakdown. Get after it and figure out which priorities are and get after it and make it happen. So that's huge invisible. And like I always say, when you see the invisible, you become unstoppable. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.